Fucking boo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fucking Boo Bombing Stories with Jay Hollingsworth. I'm your host, Jay Hollingsworth, and this week we have a great comedian, another great comedian, good buddy of mine, Ken Garr. What up, Ken?
Hi, Jay.
Oh, God. What if that was...
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, with that voice. Be like, yeah, I mean, I like that guy's story, but God, that fucking voice. Ken's right now at the Tropicana in Las Vegas, at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas here all week. So as you're watching this, if you're watching it the week that I release it, you can go see him there. And Ken, you started in Chicago?
Yeah, I started in Chicago. I was doing Second City classes, and I ran into a couple of guys that were doing stand-up across the street at a rugby bar. So I just started doing some stand-up. And I graduated from Second City, and then I never did improv ever again. I just stuck to stand-up. I'm not a team player. I don't like sharing the stage.
And you, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Oh my God. I think I've been doing it like 20 years now.
Jeez.
So I started like right after. I know, dude. I started after like 9/11.
Yeah.
But like I haven't been I've only been a professional for last 7 years.
Your stand-up since then has been everybody else's 9/11. All right. You got to
because I'm straight fire is what?
Oh God, because you destroy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell me your bombing story.
So I'm one of the only comedians in the world who can say without any consequences that I bombed a U.S. embassy. I literally did a stand-up show at an embassy in Kuwait. It was part of a armed forces entertainment tour. So we were doing Iraq, we were doing bases all over, and then we stopped at the embassy in Kuwait. And they didn't here's the deal, right? So sometimes you do back of a truck, sometimes they're in a theater. You just do it, you just go with the flow. With those military tours, you go with the flow. So we go to the embassy, and nobody knew there was going to be a show at all. We're outside. There's a fucking jumping fun in the back. There are kids playing.
What?
And then there's basically it's their happy hour. Now, the U.S. Embassy is the only place where you can drink legally in Kuwait because it's, considered U.S. soil. It's the embassy. So they're like drinking, they're having a good time. And these are all embassy workers, diplomats. And all of a sudden, the guy who was like in charge of our tour just like sets up a microphone and a speaker in the middle of this patio right next to the grill. And it's like, all right, folks, we're going to have a comedy show. We've got some comedians here from America. Seriously, exactly how he put it.
He's like somebody just slipped him a note, and he's like, "We're gonna have a quick question for you on this. Is this your first time doing a USO? I know you've done a bunch. Is this your first time? This was your first USO tour and your first show on this USO tour?
No, it wasn't the first show. So we already had like some great shows.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm excited. It's like kind of that halfway point. They're like, all right, we're gonna go back to Kuwait. We're done with Iraq. And now we're going to do this U.S. embassy. And I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to meet the ambassador. Like, this is going to be awesome. And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, boys, we're going to do this patio show during their happy hour. And I'm looking around. I mean, there's no signs like comedy show. These people had no idea. They literally showed up to barbecue and have some beers, and we interrupted their night. Like, just completely. And like, we want you to be clean. It's like, so they're like, all right, Ken,
real quick.
We're going to go.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say this is halfway through your all the shows or the tour that you're doing. And the other ones, the other ones leading up to this have been great. So as you got notified of this one, you're like, oh, dude, this is going to be awesome. Like you said, I get to meet the ambassador and everything.
Knocking it. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to kill it. Yeah, like they're gonna fly me to the JFK Center. I'm like this is gonna be, how like in our minds we like think like this gig is like the gig. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
maybe the president will be there.
Yeah, maybe he'll hear it, and then I'll get to do that like press roast they have every year.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So I have to go first. So I'm literally taking a bullet at the U.S. Embassy, and I get on, and I'm on the patio, and dude, at one point, I mean, we're bombing. I mean, there's nothing there's nobody paying attention to the show. They're just eating their food. They're like conversing with each other. They're having a good time. And I'm literally just standing in the middle of this like cement whatever patio, and I'm like, hey, and so like, as comics, like there's certain tricks of the trade that we could do to like turn a show around. We maybe do some crowd work, maybe like, like get little kids invested, like people, you know what I mean? I mean, nothing. At one point, a lady stood in front of me and started taking a picture of her family. And I was just like, yeah, lady, there's a comedy show going on. And she turns around and goes, I don't care. I was like, okay.
So her
and like,
it's
going to be
her back
to me,
she
taking
just
a picture.
Oh God, damn it.
And like, you don't want to like, in a club, you would have handled it very differently. But I'm like at the U.S. Embassy, I'm like, I don't know if this is like some VIP's wife, and like. And then I look back, and like I'm looking back, and there's kids jumping fun. There's water balloon fight, and it's going to be a bad show when like the promoter's like, do your best, and you don't have to do all of your time. And I'm like, oh, this can't be good. Like if you're not feeling it, like you can cut your time a little bit short. I think we all did like 7 minutes. I'm not even kidding you. And you ever have a show so bad where you just like step outside? I mean, I'm already outside, but like I like stepped away from the show, and like you got your hands on your hips. You know what I mean? And it's like you're just trying to like, you're just shell shocked, and it's just and you're like, you don't know if you're going back from it. You're like thinking about like how do I update my resume? Like maybe I can get my old job back, like.
So I'm imagining.
I was so like, but as we all.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm imagining that as you're doing this set in your head, you're like, holy shit, are the rest of the shows gonna be like this?
Well, because like it wasn't soldiers. It was the only show that we didn't do or that we did do that wasn't all soldiers. And every other show, they like literally walk up. They're like, we're so grateful. Thank you so much for being here. Like, we can't believe like you came out all this way to be with us. I mean, they're like the best shows in the world, dude. Like, it's just like they're hugging you. They're taking pictures. They're like fucking like, I mean, it's the best. It's the best. So then all of a sudden you get to this embassy, and these are like the people like running the war or whatever. And they're like, we're just here for some beers and a hot dog. My kid likes the jumping fun, And like I wanted to like have that like, and everyone thinks they're gonna have that like that Bill Burr moment in Philly. You know what I mean? Like fuck you, like all the But you're just like, nope. I'm just gonna get out of here, take this loss, and we're But like it's with you for a little while. It's there.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, I'm like, how much time? You said that everybody did about 7 minutes. Now,
yeah.
Well, I remember I was doing a quote unquote corporate event at Parlor Live. It was on a Sunday, but everybody's watching football, so I just stood under a TV so that their eyes were at least coming in my direction, and then I just am rattling it off, and in my head I'm like, okay, 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left. So I'm wondering, when you were doing yours, were you waiting for, I guess, the booker or the guy who was managing this to kind of give you the go ahead, like you can get off at any time, or you just like, fuck this, I'm off at 7 minutes?
Oh, I as soon as I realized that I wasn't gonna like get them, I was just kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna do what I feel like is enough time, and I'm getting out of here. Because I knew like there wasn't gonna be any like consequences. You know what I mean? I talked to the guy afterwards, and I was just like, man, what that was a rough show. He's just like, well, he's like, we're just doing them a favor. And I'm like, I don't think that was a favor. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's like, well, it's just how, like, it's the politics of all. It's how it works. Like, we throw them a free show and blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I was like, I wasn't. But I have a feeling like the NSA is tracking my phone now, because every time I tell that story, I'm like, I definitely bombed a U.S. embassy.
Yeah. Dude, he's like, oh, we're doing them a favor, and you're like, are you angry at me? Were you upset with me? What did you? Oh fuck! So after that one, did anybody other than like the people that you were with you, did anybody at the show come up to you afterwards and were like, hey, I really enjoyed that? Or were they just like,
no, they like it would be like walking. It'd be like walking into an AA meeting and be like, "All right, I was airplane food. Am I right, you guys?" And they're like, "What do you like?" We were literally interrupting their night, and that's when I kind of found out that they had no idea there was going to even be a show. You know, I don't know why you would do that. Like, why would you just like basically? Like,
that's what you're saying it like somebody cheated on you or so. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to us? Let me ask you this too. So the rest of the shows, so this was just basically a pothole in this thing, but the rest of the shows were great, all of them, before and after.
Like I always say, like every set of shows is like the sacrifice to the comedy gods, right? And so like, you know, like typically it's that Sunday show after like a weekend of hot shows, and you're like, you got to leave on the fucking Sunday show, boo, right? But like. Yeah. Like that was our Sunday show, but it was like it was more than that. Like it was like because usually like I like to say like comedians are like relief pitchers. Like you blow a save and the next day you get back on the mound and you just throw fastballs. You know what I mean? But like this stayed with you for a little bit. It's like this is like I feel like I came back from the Middle East with some PTSD.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, yeah, you tell it like an old Nam vet. Man, I was in some shit back in Kuwait, man.
Like I don't even make eye contact anymore. I'm like, you weren't there. You don't understand.
Now, would you say that you like you learned anything from it, or would you have done anything different, or was there even an opportunity to try and do something different or change it for a more successful show?
I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, because everyone did bad. It wasn't like, you know, sometimes you're like, you had that bad set, but, you know, like maybe incorporate kids or maybe just, I don't know. Like, and it wasn't in a position where I could be like, I'm not doing this show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it was like literally part of the tour. You're contracted to do it, you know, but I also, as a comedian, like you hate taking an L. Like you hate, like you think like, look, I can walk into any room and make people laugh. Like I can do this. Like, and what I love the best is like every single comedian was just like, I'll get him. Like you're not gonna get him, bro. Like,
it's all of us. You're like, I mean, you know, Ken might have had a little trouble, but dude, I saw some shit. I think I can get him. And then that person gets off and Ken's like, how'd it go? Let me ask you this: for anybody that you know enjoyed you and want to see you not bomb, what do you want to plug? What's your social media, all that shit?
Yeah, so my social media handle is Ken Garr was taken, KenGarr. I wanted Ken Garr, but it was taken. So, I mean, come on, the king of puns doesn't like that one.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Thank you.
So I'm always posting my shows on there. I'm actually going to be at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Then I think the 19th through the 25th or something like that, and then I'll be at the Zanies. I'm headlining Zanies Rosemont July 29th through the 31st. If you're in Chicago, please come.
Dude, maybe I'll fly out, do a guest spot. You know,
it's all figured out.
All right, go follow Ken. Go hit him up. Tell him you heard him on fucking Boo, and tell him you enjoyed his bombing stories. And see if the what is it, NSA? It's fucking
the NSA, baby.
Gonna start showing up at his shows. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. Love you, brother.
Love you. Bye.
Fucking Boo.